to share a message. Don't let a boss change you. People like that, it's not you. It's their fear, their insecurity. They're afraid of who you are. They see you like, show me the facts. And it's all about empowering people to be who they are. Be confident in what you hear. Have you ever had a boss who just had it out for you? I have. Remember when I told you that I have dreams and I believe in dreams and people having dreams? It depends on the person though. Everybody's dreams are different for that person and how they receive them and how they understand them. But I can say, I'm going to talk about the boss who had it out for me. But if you can relate, stay tuned. So I'm going to go back to the beginning when I first was hired with this company. Probably a week after I was hired, I had a dream. And in this dream, my boss was walking, then along come somebody else, which I know. I'm not going to give any specifics or anything like that. This person who recently became my boss started walking along on this journey with us. And all I know is that it was fire. I remember the fire from this dream, and it was like a detour. It was like I was told, and this was 3 years ago, right? And to this day, a little bit over 3 years now. I was told that we would be walking this certain path or this certain way, but in this dream, it was like, oh, I know we said this and I know we said that, but we're gonna go this way. But along on that way, somebody else joins us on this journey, who then becomes my boss. Oh, somebody's yelling in the background. Yes? Sorry, I'm back. But along comes the boss who I recently had, who not joined, but became my boss eventually in real life, joins. And it was like, I know we said this, but now there's a detour, but all of a sudden it's fire. I knew that whatever it was, that it was fire, and not literally fire. I just know it felt horrible and like burning and like, wow, this is a lot to go through. And I didn't like it, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna go through it. That was the dream I had 3 years ago. None of that had happened at that point. Up until a year and a half ago. And even though I had that dream within a week of starting with this company, I always questioned, like, what is this? Why is there a detour? What is this detour going to be about? But I know it's fire. What is this fire going to be about? And I know that there was going to be a change, but I wasn't going to like it, but I was going to have to go through it. So, if you believe in dreams, put it in the chat. Boy, when I tell you, last year, 2024 was the start of that dream. So, intuitively, I listened to my intuition a lot, and I had been tapping into my intuitive side, my intuition, because I believe that we're all created with a sense of knowing which is that intuition that we need to tap into. Not all the time that we tap into it, but I have been intentionally trying to listen to that. So even before last year, 2024 happened, beginning January, back in 2023, late 2023, I had a feeling in the inside. Was like I hadn't heard anything. I'm not one to gossip and go talk to everybody else. I had a feeling that something was changing. I just felt it in the inside. And I felt that my boss was no longer going to be my boss. And I happened to call her, or we happened to get on a call, and I said, hey, are you not going to be my boss anymore? And I'm not gossiping. These are all facts, by the way. And she's like, yeah. And when she said that, this is why I'm grateful for my intuition. If something in the inside of me knew who it was, and it was not a good feeling. It was like, oh, it's this person, and it's not going to be good. Not that I was projecting anything, but that was the inside feeling that I had. And I shared this dream with people who are close to me. And I was just like, this is, I don't have a good feeling about it. But my intuition, that's what's so great about intuition. Intuition is the knowing without the experience. But is it really though? I have to say, maybe it is already experienced, but it's telling us. But that's why we need to trust our intuition. It is like your guide to be like, oh, hey, we haven't experienced it personally, like right in this reality, but something about our intuition knows. And you know how you get that feeling when your stomach just drops, almost like you're on a roller coaster and you're getting on that ride, and it's just like, whew. In your stomach, you feel it out in your stomach. That was that feeling. And I already knew who it was. And I was just hoping. I was like, this don't feel right. This don't feel good. And my intuition led me to this person. And I was like, something about my intuition in that person did not sync, and it did not feel good. It just did not feel good at all. So I go in and I'm positive. I'm hopeful. And it's revealed to me that my intuition was right later on. Yes, this person becomes my boss. Shortly after this person becomes my boss, I have another dream. This person has it out for me. They don't want me there. They're looking to prove me wrong. They're looking to find fault. They're looking to build a negative reputation against me, which I had already had a positive reputation. But they're looking to build a negative reputation, to really debunk everything, all of my experience, to say, oh, this person is not the leader that she is. This person is not who you think they are. People like that, it's not you. It's their fear, their insecurity. They're afraid of who you are. They see you. They see all that you are, but they're intimidated. They're afraid. They're insecure in themselves. So, of course, they're not going to want to see your greatness. They're not going to want everybody else to see your greatness and who you are. So they're going to strategize and scheme to ensure that your path is not what it was or what it could be, to really break you. So the first introduction into this working relationship was coming in with accusing me of something that had no evidence or backup to prove it whatsoever. And I went to the source and like, show me the facts that I'm doing this. Couldn't prove it. It said that it was never really said. It was just a general statement that went out. And somebody, of course we know who it is, used that to insert dominance or authority. Remember this, when you're a leader, I said leader, and that's my Louisiana coming out, leader. When you're a leader, there's no point in proving that you're a leader, because you are. There's no point in me proving that I'm black when I am. It's evident, you can see it. I don't need to act black. I don't need to tell you I'm black. It is what it is, and you see what you see. So in my leadership, I never, most of the time people didn't even know I was the leader of the teams or team or teams that I had. And that's because I don't need to put on a show. I don't need to act like it. I don't need to say it. And it's okay if other people think other people are the leaders of the team. People thought my entry-level team members were the boss, or my mid-level team members were the boss. And it didn't bother me. You know why? Because I don't need to prove myself to anyone. And it's all about empowering people to be who they are. A leader leads, therefore, the leader empowers. And when you truly operate in leadership, your team will also operate in leadership as well. And for those, whether you believe in the Bible or not, I'm going to share this. And it's not to convert anybody or to do whatever it is, but to share a message. For those of you who know about the story of Jesus didn't walk around like he was, according to what we read in the Bible, he didn't walk around as if he was big and bad and bold and all that. He blended in, he walked in. And not that I tried to mimic the story of that, but I didn't even think about that in my leadership, but that's just how it was. The only the only time we really recognize Jesus, according to the scriptures, were because he spoke. When he spoke, he did miracles, but he always walked with the people. That's leadership, walking with the people. And that's exactly what he did. So, but this boss came in and clearly wanted to be like a cheetah, a jaguar, a lion, a tiger, a bear, oh my, all of them. Accusing me of doing something that really you didn't have any facts to even say the statement that you're saying. Talked about it, hashed it out, moved forward. And pretty much everything that I had set up and built, it was in this person's interest. Now, I'm not even going to say best, because it wasn't in her best interest, but interest to make sure that everything I built was destroyed. Everything that I liked, it was eliminated, but everything I didn't like was brought to the fore. It was so evident. I was left out. I wasn't included. I was made to feel as if I was incompetent. And plus the emails and everything were belittling me in an email with a group of people that were in other departments. That's not what you do. Love doesn't act that way. It's not love. But I always stayed positive. I always worked and I kept it up. I had another dream months later. This person was going to come and inspect and look for with glasses, binoculars, whatever it is, to find something. But all this time, this person couldn't find nothing because I operate in truth, and I'm not bragging. I operate with integrity, honesty. But I had the dream that this was going to happen. So this is why this person can inspect things but not inspect others. It wasn't a fair game. No other inspections took place. But in the busyness and chaoticness of what was going on in my world, you choose to inspect things. But when other places which you have authority over are slow as dirt, don't get inspected, there is a unfairness happening. I see all of this. I don't say anything. I observe, and all of this is a learning lesson. All of this was a learning for me, but I knew. This particular boss divided my team. I'm a person who loves my team and supports my team, but this particular boss preyed on my team, speaking to people sideways, entertaining it, until my boss's boss got wind of it, and then was like, and I knew that if that was happening, that boss, because that was my previous boss, didn't like that type of setup. I knew that just from experience with that boss. Then all of a sudden, oh no, I don't play that sideways conversation. But before then, you were entertaining. This person was entertaining this sideways conversation, but pretty much played the team against each other, destroyed the team. I was going through it, y'all. Everything. Stuff that I hadn't even heard of that was happening, heard of. People that shouldn't have known anything about what was going on knew before I did, just because I was excluded. I wasn't included. I just sat there and I watched, and I walked into stuff a lot of times, right into it. The things that happened were evil. I'm not going to go into details of everything, but I was warned. And all of this was going to be a fire, which it was. But I put in my notice, y'all. And I left. Or I put in my notice to leave. And if this boss asked me to stay, absolutely not. But the boss of that boss did. Many times. That shows you that something is not on the same page right there. I talked to my boss plenty of times. Never was the conversation on why you're leaving. I want you to stay. Up until the last conversation I had with her. And I confronted her, and of course this person may end up saying, oh yeah, I do, but it didn't sound genuine. But none of this is to attack the boss. This is all factual. Everybody plays their part. And I had to go through this to get to the transformation that I needed for my life. When everything was not working for me. I was accused of so many things that came back were not true. People looked into it, was not true. You couldn't find anything because it didn't happen. And that's not me. So I'm talking to somebody who's going through it right now, who's going through the same thing that I'm going through. And from the beginning of this, knowing that I saw this in a dream, God spoke to me in a dream. In dreams, not just a dream. I said, allow me to get what I need to get from this. Don't allow me, because I knew it was going to be a fire. Don't allow me to quit until I receive everything that I need to receive. And even when I put in my notice, I hadn't quite got all of it yet. But that was me transforming and stepping into my power. Who I am, getting closer. But then, while I'm in notice, I get this transformation. It is the most liberating experience ever, which is set your boundaries, speak up. Don't let people walk over you. Don't worry about what people think. And that was so freeing. And to this day, I can say, who cares what anybody says about me? What they say or don't say. That's how you should be. Who cares what people say about you and don't say? Still walk your truth. Still be who you are. And I had so many people coming at me from both angles, all angles, and they're tied into this game, or this thing of, let me get at you. Let me get at you. What lie can I make up? And it was just like, wow, this is so unbelievable. Remember in the other video I was talking about it? And I told my family, and this stuff is just unheard of, like in real life. It is crazy. But I don't regret any part of it, because that allowed me to get here. That allowed me, it was tough, it was challenging. So many times I wanted to walk out, but I knew it wasn't time for me to walk out. It wasn't time for me because I hadn't learned, and I actually made a prayer or a request and said, don't allow me to leave no matter how hard it is until I get what I need to get. Allow me to get it. I don't care how long it takes me. I want to get it. And I got it after a year and almost a half. And I'm so thankful for that moment. But if you have a boss who is being evil towards you, who puts on this front like, oh, I'm so nice, I'm so kind, and everybody else thinks that I'm good, but then in the inside, they can't stand your guts. They're afraid of you. They're threatened by you and the light that you bring. They want to shame you. They want to embarrass you. They want to demote you. They want to punish you. They want to make your life miserable. And that's what that person did. That person really did. They achieved their goal in that. But just because they think they achieved, that person thinks they achieved their goal. And I left, that doesn't mean that they won, and I want you to. That's the part where don't worry about what people think. I won because I got my transformation. I got what I needed from this experience. This journey led me there to capture that, and I captured. And it's not about me proving a statement or getting the last word or whatever it is. It's about me getting what I need to get from it. So don't allow your friends and family, because even through this, people don't understand my decision to walk away. But I walk away completely because I learned and I gathered everything that I need to. That chapter is closed for me, and now it's time for me to open a new chapter. So even though you may be the only one standing to the right, or let's just say to the left, and everybody else is on the right side. Do you. And I'm not saying just do you, boo, like everybody is saying. I'm saying be confident in what you hear and what you know, your intuition and your path and your purpose, your light, your guidance. I don't care if I tell you, people say, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Sorry, excuse me. I wouldn't do that if I was you. Well, you're not me. Allow people to say what they're going to say, but be confident and strong in what you know. But when someone comes against you, and the thing about it too, they will gaslight you. Your bosses, when you have that conversation and you be yourself and you tell it like it is, they will gaslight you and make you think that it's you and you're the one. No matter who you talk to, my intuition already told me that no matter who I talk to, the boss's boss, I'd already had another dream that said that I was going to end up talking to this person, which is my old boss, and they weren't going to believe it. They were going to doubt it. But they was going to have a little faith, a little something there, but not all the way. And they were going to make me think that I was the one with the issue. Yes, I had issues. I'm not going to doubt that. That was me speaking up, setting boundaries, and just going with it, and not setting those boundaries so people could respect me. And I learned my lesson in time. And I believe in divine timing. Ooh,
oh my God, what is that?
But I believe in divine timing of things. So you trust and you surrender, like I told you before. It's all about becoming greater and being the best that you can be, being open, being receptive to what you need. But don't let a boss change you. Don't get on their level. Don't get nasty and ugly and evil with them. You stay positive. You stay grateful. You stay who you are. When you get where you need to get, and then when you get that, you move forward. Continue to move forward always, but once you've gathered everything that you need to gather, no matter what people tell you, you do what is best for you, and you move forward in the direction that you're supposed to. Every experience is there to teach us a lesson, and we can't stay stuck on the lesson once we've got it. We got to move forward. We got to grow. We got to elevate. That was a horrible experience. That was one of the worst experiences of my life and my career. I won't even say the worst, one of the worst. It was the worst. And I've been through some bad things before, but this one was the absolute worst experience I've ever had in a working relationship or working situation. But that doesn't mean that we can't overcome. That doesn't mean that we still can't win for ourselves. And don't let anybody else determine what's winning for you. You determine what's winning for you. You determine how you win. And for me, I won because I was resilient. I was positive. I stayed until I got the lesson that I needed to get, and I got it. Because I could have bowed out. I could have tapped out. And I'm telling you the stuff that I went through, and I'm giving you a summary. That's not even the details, or that's just the surface level of things that I went through under that leadership. And I'm going to talk about leadership because I'm passionate about leadership as well. But everybody that has the title of leadership doesn't mean that they should be in leadership. We know so many people who are in positions of authority that should not be there, and that boss absolutely should not be in position of authority, period. But we know people like that. But what I want to say to those of you who are in that space, who may come into that space, instead of just, because me, my old self, immediately would have left a long time ago, but I knew there was a reason why I was going through it. And I said, don't allow me, take my words and write them down if you need to. Don't allow me to leave, to quit, to give up until I get what I need to get from this. And it took almost a year and a half. It took a year and 3 months And I finally got it, and I'm so happy that I got it. But it's now time for me to move forward. So I challenge you to say that, and that is how I live my life right now. Is intentionally every moment, what am I to get from every moment? I don't care if it's me going to the store, grocery store, and I experience something. What am I to get from that experience? And that's how I intentionally live my life. I challenge you to do that. But this is not to bash bosses, but to keep it real, to keep it authentic, to keep it naked. Like I said, we're keeping it naked over here. We naked all day long. So we're keeping it naked right now. And we may go through things. I want to say that. You may go through things, and it may be the fire. But when you're going through that fire, no matter what it is, I don't care if it's a boss or a relationship, whatever it is, ask yourself, stop and say, don't stop saying, why me? Why is this happening? That's what I started off saying, but I knew I wasn't supposed to say that. That's not the right question to ask. The question is, what can I get from this? What am I to learn from this? That is what you need to ask. So if you're going through something right now in this moment, ask yourself, what am I to get from this? What can I get from this? And move forward. You may have a terrible boss like I had. Absolutely horrible. And it's not to bash anybody. The truth is the truth. You're horrible, you're horrible. I'm not adding butter to it. I'm not going to add sugar and salt where it's not necessary. But if you go through somebody who has it out for you, don't worry about it, because it's their insecurity, it's their fear, they're threatened. And they may put on this facade, and they may have favor with other people, and they may present themselves to be a certain way. But even the devil disguises himself. Just know that. Demons disguise themselves. So, whereas you may see something clearly, other people may not, and it's okay. It's not for you to control how someone else sees things or how they do things, but it's for you to get the lesson that you need to get out of it. When you go through that fire, don't worry about them. Just see it, observe it, learn, and learn what not to do. Learn what to do. I also learn what it is that is for you that you need to get. And for me, that was setting boundaries. That was speaking up for myself. That was to stop people pleasing. That was all of that. And I had a breakthrough. And one thing I want to share with you, people who know me closely know that I love to dance. I'm not saying I'm a dancer. I'm not Beyonce. Definitely not Sierra or Janet. However, I love to move. But all of that stopped. And that's very different. Like, if I'm in the house, y'all, I would just bust out and dancing. I would bust out and dance. Bust out and dance. No, I would just break out and dance. It didn't have to be anything. You play music, or I would turn the music on and just dance. That was since I was a little girl. And I remember my aunt, my mom's sister, asked me one time, I was just dancing. She said, "You freaky?" And I'm like, no. And I was a teenager. Because I was just dancing and I just let myself go and I'm just free. But regardless of what people think, don't hold back who you are. Don't hold back what you need to say because of what somebody else is thinking. That's the lesson that I learned in all of this too. But I danced. I used to dance. And I wasn't doing that too much lately. Yes, if I went out, I would dance, but I allowed the life to consume me and to constantly be in that space. But God gave me a dream. It was the best dream of them all. And this is how I know that I'm going in the direction that I need to. That's why you need to listen to your intuition. And when you listen to your intuition and you're listening to what you need to, divine guidance, you have this peace that you cannot explain. All you can say is, I can't explain it. It's like that peace that people talk about passes all understanding. That's all you can say, because there's no other words. There are no other words for it. People don't understand it, but you have that peace. Don't let anybody, when you have that, don't let anybody, no matter if you have 1 billion people on the other side, say that. You do what you need to do. If you feel that peace, that's where you need to be. Don't feel that peace, something's off, it's imbalanced. But I had a dream that on my last day, I was dancing. And I was surrounded by people who didn't care for me. And I didn't care. I turned on the music and I danced, and I thought, when I woke up. And I turned on the music that morning, and I got up and I danced. That's how powerful that dream was. Like, I hadn't done that in years. And I got up and danced. That dream was so powerful. And I just danced and I was so happy. But in this dream, it was my last day and I did not care. And I danced, and people who didn't even like me got up and danced because they saw something else when I was dancing. They saw joy and happiness, and it was like they began now to believe. They began now to lay aside their doubts and suspicions. Because let me tell you, the truth is the truth. We don't have to butter up the truth. But you always have to hide lies, and you have to hide what's hidden in the dark and all of that. But the truth will come out and be exposed. Real is real. And just like if you have that boss that wants to dim your light, no matter, it's going to come through regardless. No matter how it ends up, that light is going to shine. You can't put out a light. You can try to cover up a light, but the light is still shining. Regardless, I can put a light over the lights that I have in my office right now, but the light is still shining. It doesn't stop the light from shining. But when you take all the masks and all the covers and the sheets you put on to cover that light up, it's gonna shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. That's how it's gonna be. That's what truth is. That's what realness is. Don't allow someone to, they may try to put a cover on it. Let them do it. But your light's still gonna shine. You're gonna shine. You're gonna shine. So forget about bosses and people in your workspace gaslighting you. Stand in your confidence. Stand in who you are. And I need to get some Beyonce earphones because, like, I'm pretty sure Beyonce would have had these customized by now. Like, they would have been fit. They would have been fitting perfectly to her. You wouldn't even see this fall out. But anyway, we're gonna worry about what we have right now. And I'm grateful for what I have right now. So I challenge you. Let your light shine bright like a diamond. No matter who try to put a cover on it. And the mask is not going to stay dimmed for long. And it's not dimmed. It's just covered up because people are trying to block you. People will block you. They will try to demote you. They will try to say you're not worthy to be. They have other agendas who they want to push up and put forward and make sure you're not good. But that shows you about the person. Don't take it to yourself. They're threatened. They're afraid. But if we really had a heart for other people, why be afraid when we all can succeed? That's from a mindset of lack and desperation and insecurity. Because when you operate in that way, you don't think it's enough to go around. So that's lack right there. But all of us can be great. And this is why I am here today, to challenge you to be great, to be greater. I went through it, y'all. I really went through it. A lot of times I was crying, but I knew it wasn't my time to give up. You may cry. You may want to run away. You may want to check out. Don't. Just get the lesson that you need to get. And when you're so open and ready to receive, that divine moment will happen. That divine timing will happen. You will get the message. And regardless if you leave or you stay, you know what you need to do. But don't worry about what they say. And nobody ran me off. I stayed as long as there was something for me to get, and I gathered it. Just like planting seeds and gathering your harvest. I gathered my harvest. And I'm a person of elevation, so I gathered my harvest. Now it's time for me to go forward and move on to my next spot, my next point of learning. Which never stop learning, y'all. Never, never, never. And I'm so passionate about this topic just because those of you who are in the workspace, we go through a lot. Monday through Friday, Sunday through Saturday, whatever it is, we go through a lot. And we have to have the right mindset when we're doing things. And the mindset is, while I'm experiencing this, even though it may feel negative, feel bad, feel like fire, I'm going to get what I need to get. I challenge you to do that. And once you do that, you own the greatness. You are a greatness. You are unstoppable. Instead of allowing yourself to succumb to foolishness and to evil and to people mistreating you and not being fair, it would have been not right if I would have quit a long time ago. If I didn't get the lesson, it would have been in vain. And I would have went somewhere else and learned the same thing. But I'm choosing not to waste my time. I challenge you. And I'm not going to run on and on and on. But I am going to talk more about the workplace because I started working on the workplace about maybe 2 years ago. Like 2 years ago, writing content for. So a lot of stuff that you see, it probably already was written. It was actually written like a year and a half, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, probably. And yeah, 2 years ago. If not, at least a year and a half ago. So all of this is the stuff that you're seeing as far as my social media and things that I'm saying was written, not for just to write it, but to inspire change. Anyway, we're going to do a toast. Toast to you, not letting your boss run you off. Toast to you, not letting your boss make you walk away. But toast to you, getting what you need to get from people who may be against you, people who have it out for you, people who are threatened by you, people who are insecure within themselves, who project evil and misery on you. Did y'all see that movie Misery? That's pretty much what I went through. Y'all should watch that movie Misery, Catherine Bates. It's an old movie, but it's really good. That's pretty much was my life this past year. And watch it, because there are people out there, even in positions of authority, who will act like they're good. And she acted like she was good to the outside people, but inwardly, that person was going through hell. That was my life, and I'm not ashamed to say. I don't care who hears it. I really don't, because this is my truth. But cheers to you getting what you need to get and gathering what you need to gather.